Welcome, welcome. Welcome to the church in Ocean Park. You're welcome if you just came in from a march, protest march. You're welcome if you never knew about any protest marches. You're welcome if you just got out of prison. Welcome you if you just came in from another country, another territory. We welcome you if you're burdened by distress and all these other issues that are coming up in society today. We welcome you here at the church in Ocean Park. We welcome especially the encouragement group as they continue to present different items and different aspects of our interests and our different aspects of life in our community. And today we are going to look at mental illness in particular. So we are happy to have all the demonstrations and the presentations that are with us. And we'll speak more about that later. But usually with our welcome, we have a acknowledgement, a land acknowledgement that we usually say. We, the people of the church in Ocean Park, recognize that our building here in Santa Monica sits on stolen land. We, the settlers of this land, honor the Kish, the Tongva, and Chumash peoples. We acknowledge the harms of genocide, enslavement, and forced labor, the destruction of sacred sites, and all these issues. We also acknowledge our communities and country were built on the backs of people stolen from Africa, placed into bondage, and forced into labor. We acknowledge that we benefit from that labor that has not yet been repaid. In acknowledgement, let us therefore commit ourselves to healing by helping to create a more just and equitable world through the struggle of changing how we do things that we see as normal and that support the systems that oppress us. That's a lot. We apologize for the harm by pledging ourselves to be part of this culture of repair. So we say thank God for being here today. My name is Joseph Hepburn, and I am a member of the encouragement group as well. So welcome, welcome.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Ayana. I'm just here, I'm welcoming all of you as well, just doing some quick housekeeping. Just so you know, first of all, thank you for the time that you have taken out of your lives, your schedules to be here. And thank you for also knowing that we are actually starting at 1:30 something at this point. And we also want to let you know the restrooms are right here, or back here. There are some snacks, and if you need to step away at any time, you're always more than welcome to. And, if you need to go outside, of course, that's fine. We also want to thank our sound man as well. And I also want to quickly introduce our MC for tonight, or for this afternoon, for this evening. Saying MC, but he's got multiple names. He has different titles. Pretty interesting, pretty dynamic. Okay, I'm gonna tell you that we have next speaking is Jean-Pierre Mignoli, who does hold a PhD in parapsychology with a focus on psychology and human behavior. He is an abuse survivor and a rapper, actor, comedian, and DJ, and also an MC. Please welcome.
Hi, hello everybody. Thank you, Ayana, for the beautiful intro, and thank you everybody for being here today. I'll go ahead and first off, we're going to introduce Donna Brown. I have a little bio here. Let me pull that up. I know so much about her, but I want to make sure I use the words that she wants me to use to describe her. I want to make sure I introduce her properly because first I want to acknowledge her amazing work ethic and everything she does. We wouldn't be here today without her. So thank you so much, Donna, for all of that. And let me just pull up her bio here, and we'll go over that. So Donna Brown is a mother, a certified advocate, a mediator, and a survivor speaker who shares her story to move community to action. She is dedicated to social justice and real change, and that's why we're here at the church at Ocean Park doing that. So thank you for all of that. Ms. Brown co-founded the Encouragement Group, which I'm wearing our shirt, so you can see who we are. We're here trying to help each other as well as the community through grief and suffering and loss and mental health and everything that we deal with in our everyday lives. And we're just going to continue to grow and help create these events to bring awareness to our communities. And it's really important. So thank you so much. The Encouragement Group is a dedicated team of members that leads and facilitates grief and loss workshops at the church. Ms. Brown's leadership and facilitation has led to holding sessions on gun violence at survivor retreats on Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C. Ms. Brown has been involved with Transformative Justice Symposium, West Side lead for the Justice for Cliff, and was a keynote speaker in the city of Santa Monica for the March of Our Lives, to name a few. Most notably, Ms. Brown received the Senate Certificate of Recognition for Communitatis Award. Communitas. All right, sorry. The word got cut off for me. For the church in Ocean Park, a legacy of her son, Cliff Herbert Jr. Ms. Brown believes in being a part of the solution and not the problem. So I'm going to go ahead and invite Donna up here to say a few words before we get started today. Would you like the mic and stand, or are you fine holding it?
Oh,
Yeah. There we go.
hello, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to the Encouragement Group here at the church in Ocean Park. Thank you for joining. Maybe I could bring this a little. Thank you for joining us today for our annual Mental Health Awareness Day on behalf of the Encouragement Group here at the church in Ocean Park. I welcome you with open arms and a grateful heart. Today is about healing, connection, and shining a light on mental health. It's about recognizing the struggles we often carry in our silence and creating a space where no one has to walk through them alone. The Encouragement Group was born from one of the most painful chapters in my life, the tragic murder of my 22-year-old son that was murdered on spring break. In the midst of that grief, I longed for a space where we could cry, be heard, and begin to heal. But I always wanted more. I wanted action. I wanted to advocate for change. And I wanted to create change. They say when life gives you lemon, what do? That's it. I made lemonades. And that is exactly what I did. Out of my pain came a purpose. I created the Encouragement Group not just for myself, but for others. For all who have suffered the loss, for those battling with mental health challenges, and for those who felt forgotten. This space was made for you. We advocate for safe communities. We support legislation to end violence, and we lift the voices of survivors in this space. We really do lift the voices of survivors. They get to share their story without being wrong or without being made wrong. Because our story matters. Healing is our mission. As we gather today, we also recognize that this weekend is Memorial Day weekend, a time to honor the brave men and women who have served this country and made the ultimate sacrifice. I want to take this moment to honor my own brother, who gave his life while serving in Iraq. We remember him and so many others whose courage helped protect our freedom. We also recognize the deep mental health wound that many veterans carry, especially those who suffer from PTSD. So many have returned home with invisible scars. Let this be a space that not only honors their service, but also acknowledges their pain and stand with them in healing. Whether your grief comes from personal loss, serving this country, trauma, everyday battle, we see you. We stand with you, and we welcome you. Together we remember, together we heal, and together we build a better, safe future. One story, one voice, and one heart at a time. Thank you again for being here with us. Let's get to that skit. Thank you very much. Next person.
Thank you so much, Donna. Appreciate that. I'll piggyback off of what Donna had just said, since it is Memorial Day weekend and we want to think about everyone. So, Brian, if you want to grab the stuff, get set up, and I'll talk a little bit before we get into that. We're going to skip the first song, Nate. I'll let you know when to start the video. That'll be in a few minutes once we talk about a few things. Again, piggybacking off of Donna's beautiful point of Memorial Day weekend, we show reverence and respect to everyone who sacrificed so much, their lives, their time, their mental health for, defending our country, defending what we're told to believe in and take care of. And we really do show respect and reverence for that. And obviously we have, maybe many of us have maybe personal experiences, family members, friends, relatives, anyone who maybe has served and maybe who's even lost their lives. Donna's brother obviously is one she brought up. So definitely we want to acknowledge everyone who has sacrificed for their families, their country, and everyone. We'll have Brian, if you want to go ahead and come up, grab a seat up here for me. And what we're going to do is, I'm going to grab this paper right here because we want to give a couple of moments of silences for Donna's brother as well as others who have served. And then we're going to show you a little bit of what it sounds like when Donna, who got to experience this, when the military does their send-off for the loved ones we have lost. So let's go ahead and give a moment of silence first in honor of Sergeant Joe Polo. We can give a moment of silence for Sergeant Joe Polo. We lost him in March 29th, 2007. Next, in honor of Specialist Walter Freeman Jr., we lost April 4th, 2007. Next, in honor of Derek Arthur Gibson, April 4th, 2007. And last but not least, in loving memory of a son, brother, and friend, Specialist Walter Freeman Jr., who we lost April 3rd, 2007. And we're going to play a quick excerpt from the 21 gun salute and what it's like when we honor the lives of these brave men and women that we have lost. So we're going to play that video.
Raise colors. Reset arms. Reset. Off.
All right. Thank you very much for giving us a moment to honor the brave women that have sacrificed so much for all of us. Especially, obviously, Specialist Walter Freeman Jr., Donna's brother. Very sorry for your loss, and thank your brother very much and your family for the sacrifice you guys have made. So let's talk a little about mental health for our veterans and the people who suffer the most. And it's one of probably the biggest points of our men and women that serve is that they come back with so much distress and trauma, PTSD. HUD estimates about every single night that about 32,000 veterans are homeless. And out of that number, it's about 13,000 that have no shelter or home whatsoever. A lot of the problems of homelessness that the veterans suffer with is because they come back with so much PTSD and mental health problems that it's hard for them to hold down a job. And when it's hard for you to hold down a job, it's hard for you to find a place to stay and live. And not only that, the system we have in place to help our veterans doesn't work very well as it is. It's very difficult for most of our veterans to find the help they need. Even the current administration has done more damage by taking away a lot of the funding from those programs that already struggle to take care of our veterans. So it's something I truly hope that we look at and try and help our veterans even more, because it's very difficult for them, and that's why we have so much. This view we have here of Brian dressed up as something I see so much here in LA all over the place. You know, I come from the Long Beach area, and I see veterans on the side of the freeway when I get home. Same thing anywhere in LA almost, walk around. I see very similar images of these men and women wearing these fatigues or their military, the little military, images they have left that they carry with them. So it's something that I think we really need to look at and try and help a little more in our society. Again, mental health is one of the biggest problems, whether it's PTSD, the things that they've seen, the things that they've had to go through, the things that they've lost, the limbs that they've lost, and the lifestyle changes that they encounter is detrimental to their future and living out a good life that they should be able to, especially after sacrificing so much. So I just wanted to take a little moment to acknowledge that and talk about a lot of the mental health issues that we deal with. And we're lucky enough to have the Department of Health that has the psychiatric mobile response team here today. So if anybody wants any information on that, thank you very much for coming out today. Even though our system definitely needs a lot of help and needs to be restructured and fixed, the programs that we do have here to help, we truly appreciate you and acknowledge you for being there. And we definitely need to get this information out more to the communities and people to look into these programs to get all the help that they can get. We have Care Court as well. I just want to give a few acknowledgments. They're going to be speaking a little bit later to everybody, but I just wanted to acknowledge them for being here as well. So thank you very much for coming out today. Oh yeah, and is she going to be speaking now, or are we? Okay. I was just curious. I wanted to give the full announcement, when we have it. But let me give one more acknowledgement before we start the rest of the skits we have planned today. Let me just pull it up. I want to make sure I have all the information correct here. So we have Aretha R. Jones is going to. Aretha R. Jones Adams, MS and AMFT, is going to be our keynote speaker later today. So thank you for being here as well. Obviously, it's great to have people with information and knowledge and skills to come out and share that with the community and people for help and information. So definitely appreciate you being here today, and we'll be hearing more from her later on. So I was going to see if I can bring a special guest up today, because I'm struggling for talent. If Ayana could help me out with some skits today, because we're waiting on Josh, but I don't know when he's going to be here. So I wanted to see if you could help me out so we can keep this thing moving on. If possible, if not, I can probably handle it on my own, but it'd be nice to have a counterpart to help me out with some skits today. All right, and I know you're talented. I know Ayana here is talented and has acted before, so it shouldn't be too hard. Oh, come on. Don't be so modest. Don't be so modest. So can I have you come on up and help me out with some stuff today? Yeah. If you want to just take a seat on one of the chairs, and I'll kind of guide you. It's improv, so I'm just going to guide you along with some of the... I'm going to talk a little bit first, so I just want to have you set up and ready to go when we start the skits. So the whole theme of today that me and Donna had spoke about was more about mental health throughout our lives, right? It starts when we're young, and it continues through our entire life until we grow old. And there's so many different aspects of that affect our mental health, I'll start very small, because I was an abuse victim from a very young age from my family, and it is detrimental to me for most of my life. And thankfully, I want to say I'm 40 now, and in my mid-30s when I really started having breakthroughs and overcoming a lot of my trauma from all the abuse, and mental health was a big part of that. I had very dark depressions in my life dealing with that abuse, that I was suicidal at points where I just thought my life wasn't valuable enough to even be here. And thankfully I was creative and not destructive. So my art, my creativity, my music, my acting, my comedy, all that stuff came from everything I had been through. And I used that as a way to express myself when I had a space where I couldn't express myself. So art and creativity, obviously why we're doing skits today is why we're here. But I think it starts when we're very young, and it's not the parents' fault. I don't want to put all the blame on the parents, because our society, our culture, the way we're raised influences how we raise our children. And I really think watching that, one of the key things is I think we have all these guidelines we think we need to follow to raise our children. Let's raise them to be hard workers, or be a certain way, act a certain way, live in this box of growing up and working and making money and getting a house and having a family and having kids. But I think we miss so much of other aspects that could help with those, which is listening more. We don't listen enough, I think, especially to children. We think because children are small that maybe they don't understand as much, but sometimes you might notice things if you're a little more quiet and listen to children. Because what do they say? You know, if you want to know if someone's trustworthy, children and animals will always tell you first if that person is good or not. So maybe we should start looking at life a little differently and maybe listening to children a little more. They might have more insight than we think they do. And I think that's a key factor. And, you know, we're so much like, you need to do this, you need to be this way, you need to do that. They lose themselves, and that is critical to our mental health. I can tell you from a personal experience of my own life is I spent so much of my life working and trying to meet the standards of everyone around me and make everyone happy that I neglected my own happiness and that deteriorated my mental health, because that's when I was deeply depressed and hating the job I worked at, not pursuing the things that I was passionate about, my acting, my music, my comedy, and all that stuff took a back burner, and so did my mental health. But the moment that I took a big risk, I quit my job to do acting full-time and follow my passions, even though the jobs weren't always there, the money wasn't always there, it always got worked out, and I was so much happier. Everyone who sees me after that point in my life where I had not only quit my job, but, you know, been happier, is just like, you're not the same person I remember. You know, I was this quiet introvert, and now I'm out there doing the things I love and talking to people and sharing my experiences with people like Don in the encouragement group and here at this beautiful church. So it's something to definitely think about when we think about our children. But going more as you get older, there's a lot of other factors that affect our mental health, and a lot of it has to do with how we are social creatures. We love to be around everyone. We love to be accepted. We love to talk. We love to share. We love to have human connection and human contact. And obviously, social media has done damage, irreprehensible damage to a lot of that, because we're so stuck on our phones now and in our homes and away from each other that we don't have as much human contact and connection as we should. And social media, it gives you a false reality that we live in, because everybody's posting all the nice things they do, right? I'm going to the beach, I'm going out with my friends, I have a car, I have money, I have this, I have that. But so many people are dealing with so many other things, but they show that bright, nice side of life. We don't share enough on the struggles we have, and it's all very similar. Whether it's, oh, you know, I'm having a hard time paying rent, bills, taking care of this, that, the other thing. I think that that's important to also share, because that's a normal part of life, as well as, yes, the good times are great too, but we need to acknowledge that there are difficult times in our lives. And I think going back to the social aspect, one of the most difficult things is, you know, trying to be accepted. And we're not all the same. We don't all like the same things. But when you're around people, sometimes you do things to fit in. So I came up with skit ideas. I was hoping Josh was going to be here. I'm not sure when he's going to arrive, but I'll have my friend and talented person, Ayana, help me out with these skits over here a little bit. So I have a couple mics here as well, so that way everybody can hear us, and in case somebody's watching online. So I'm going to hand the mic to you, or if we keep it on the table, hold on to it when we get into the skits. We're going to go over some of those things in life, you know, whether it's peer pressure, whether it's you know, pressure to do certain things or act a certain way. I have a couple of skits we're going to show you guys on what that exactly looks like and examples of that. So I'm going to jump on stage here, and we're going to go through some of those scenarios, okay? So first off, I'll talk about, let's go over some of the peer pressures we might encounter. So I'm going to show you guys some of those peer pressures that younger people encounter, whether it's from elementary, junior high, high school, and these continue through all our lives anyway, but I think those pivotal moments in our lives are when we're in those states of adolescence and young adult that we encounter things like that. So let's give you some scenarios right now of what you might encounter in those spaces. So let's say I'm hanging out with a friend of mine, and I got a word that some of my other friends are getting together and they're gonna do some stuff. So let's see what that scenario looks like. Hey, what's up, Ayana? How's it going?
Going good.
All right, cool. So, hey, so check it out. I hope you won't trip out on this, but some of my friends, they got that good stuff, you know? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, oh, you know what? Okay, cool.
I do know.
So, what do you say? Let's go hang out. We're going to go to their house. We're going to smoke some stuff. I don't know, got some other stuff too. You want to go? Come on. Why you got to be like that?
No.
Don't you like to have fun?
My mama will whoop me.
Your mama ain't gotta know. We could crash at the friend's house.
My mama does not let me spend the night at nobody's house.
All right, whatever. Come on, don't be like that.
I mean, who's going to be there?
Oh, it's a bunch of us. You know, all the cool people,
All the
all the popular people.
Will it make me popular?
I don't know. You find out. If we go, we can find out.
Oh.
So see, this is a great example right here. She may not want to go and do those kinds of things, but that pressure of, hey, there's popular people, hey, there's people who do that stuff, join us, be part of that. And that is detrimental to our mental health because say there was hard drugs, maybe it's not just marijuana, maybe it's even harder drugs than that, and people convince you to get into that. Not only mentally, if she's not ready to experience something like that and in a safe space to do something like that, you know, biologically, these substances can affect you. So your mental health can deteriorate extremely fast if you're encountering these kinds of scenarios and situations where you're not ready or comfortable and you encounter stuff like that. So just examples of that kind of stuff. Let's talk about other social situations you might encounter. And it's great that she's a female because it's much harder and sometimes worse on females in these kind of situations. So let's join that. Hey, so how's it going, Ayana? You know, I just got to say, I think you are very beautiful. What do you think? Say we go out sometime.
Okay, go out where?
I don't know, maybe go catch a movie, get something to eat. You know, on Wednesday nights, nobody's at my house, so we can go back, chill at my place, have some food, watch movies, you know, just hang out.
I mean, Wednesday night is Bible study for me, so.
Come on, that's boring though. Come on, you and me could have some fun. You don't like me?
I mean, you know, kind of cute.
Oh, see,
mean,
you know what's up, so we can go hang out and have some fun. See, Bible's boring. How about you hang out with me and we do other stuff?
You can come to me with Bible study.
That's boring. I don't want to do that. Come on, let's do the fun stuff.
What
See-
kind of fun are you talking about?
You know, just kind of, we'll let things go the way they go and see what happens.
Ooh, I did read about this in the Bible.
See, and I think that is a great example right there. See, again, I love this example right here because what it shows is, again, I'll keep repeating this point. We are not all the same as human beings. Our behaviors, our likes, our interests are all different. And so when you invite someone to do something, you never know what their reaction is going to be. And we should also, if you notice, I tried to pressure her into, I kept going, even though I knew immediately she was not comfortable with this. But yet I still was pushing the point. Come on, that's boring. Do the fun stuff. Hang out. Do that. So these are the examples I'm trying to show you that is effective on our mental health because, you know, again, she's not comfortable with that, but yet I'm pushing her towards that. And then we have to be honest about these situations, male and females, because females suffer a lot more because males can be bigger than a female potentially physically, and that can pressure and make women feel that they have to give into that pressure and do things they're not comfortable with, and that can be, again, detrimental, especially if it goes to a point where it goes beyond just hanging out as friends, but, you know, if things get physical and someone's not ready, mentally that can affect you a lot. I have a personal experience with this, so I'm going to share really quick that I learned from my grandmother. She passed during COVID, but she started getting dementia towards the end of her life. And she grew up in Italy under the rule of Mussolini. And the soldiers had taken over families' houses in Italy and done whatever they wanted. And there's so many stories within the Italian community of the soldiers molesting and raping little children when they stayed and they took over the homes of the Italian families during that time. And my grandmother, towards the end, I put her in one of the nicest homes she could have been in and taken care of, and I visited her often because I had the luxury during the pandemic to do that. And she said that a man would climb into her bed, and they had cameras everywhere at this place. It was one of the nicest facilities. I checked out many facilities before I put her here, and the facility stayed in constant contact with me. And they showed me videos of everything as well. So it dawned on me that when she was sharing this story, I said, she's already talking about her sisters who have passed away, mothers, family members who have passed. What if she's reliving something that happened when she was younger because she's in this state of dementia? And it was so profound to hear that and say, wow, it makes sense that my grandmother may have suffered so much when she was a little child even, that no wonder why she was so abusive. And that, that can turn into that, especially when you're so young and you deal with encountering something that you're not ready for. So it's something that I think is really important to touch on, because we don't think about that as much affecting our mental health, but it does. So, so I think that's a good point. So I think that's good. I think we got the point across. So thank you so much for joining me for the skit, Ayanna. You did a great job.
Okay. Thank you for inviting me. Wonderful.
Right there. Yeah. Thanks so much. All right, awesome. Thank you so much. So yeah, and this is stuff that it doesn't end when you're a teenager. It doesn't end when you're a young adult. Your whole life, you have the potential to encounter things like this. From anyone. It could not be just friends. It could be family. It could be cousins. It could be relatives. It could be anyone in the spectrum that you meet that could try and pressure you into doing things maybe you're not comfortable with, and that has an effect on your mental health. And I wanted to show that because it can have an effect on you. So I appreciate you guys coming out and listening and showing that. The next one, I think we're going to have Chaplain Joseph come up and join me. He came up with a great idea for a skit. So let's jump into that. So let me set the scene for you guys. So I am in the hospital, and you can use the mic if you want, Chaplain Joseph. So it's right there for you. So I am in the hospital. I am maybe not in a vegetative state, but in a state where I cannot do much. And so Chaplain Joseph's coming to visit me and give me some information, and I'm already under a lot of stress.
Hello. Can I come in?
Yeah.
Okay. My name is Joseph, and I'm one of the hospital chaplains here.
Oh,
Do you know what a chaplain is?
No.
Yeah, well, the chaplain is like a pastor, somewhat like a minister as well.
Oh.
But where he does his work is in the hospital,
Oh, well, thank
as
you.
opposed to pastors who do their work mostly outside of the hospital.
Oh,
So our parish is in the hospital itself.
that's nice.
Yeah. So we try to, when you're ill, when you're sick, many times it's because of stress.
Mm-hmm.
It is stress that makes you worry. It is stress and worries from outside. The political situation, the social situation in your family as well. How is it in your family?
It's I have a difficult family situation. I don't talk to all of my family. I'm estranged from my younger brother, who I was very close with, and that hurt when I lost him out of my life. And honestly, I have my wife and her family, but I lost most of my family during COVID, and I actually lost my father a few months ago. So
That's rough.
I lost
Yes,
most of my family that's here in the States.
That's rough, yeah.
Yeah.
That could affect our mental and even spiritual life as well.
Definitely.
All that stress,
Yeah, very
all
true.
that separation
Very
and
true.
that loss of loved ones. Very stressful.
Yeah.
And it
very
is that
true.
stress that makes us physically ill sometimes, and even mentally ill, because we can't cope with all the problems and the issues that come into our minds.
Yes, very
What are we going to do because our brother is not here, our mother is not here? How are we going to manage? So that places
especially
a lot of stress.
right now I'm stuck in this hospital bed. I can't see anybody. I can't help anyone if they need help, if something's going on. So I feel kind of helpless being in this state as well, because I can't do much.
Oh yeah, because in hospital you're in a strange place. You're not home, you're not with friends, you don't know the people who are coming to take care of you, you don't know the nurses, you don't know the situation, you're a stranger.
Yeah, very
And
true.
among strangers, even though they are helping you as nurses, they are still strangers.
Oh yeah, I
You
just
know,
want to get out of
so
here.
it's
I'm
very
tired of being
stressful.
here. Yeah.
Very stressful. But some of the things you can sometimes illness makes us relax a little bit too. Gives us some time, Instead of hustling and bustling and going here and there and trying to do this and helping that, relax a little bit and allow people to help you. And as you relax and allow people to help you, that gives you a sense of comfort and a sense of assurance, a sense of confidence. And that begins to help you to get over the stresses and the mental issues that are confusing you all the time. So take the time in your illness to just relax and receive the help and the support. And as you receive it, it will build reassurance and growth, you know?
Yeah, I didn't think of it that way. It's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
And
So
church is good too. Church in
Yeah.
Ocean Park. Church family helps. And you don't have to pay anything, no insurance, don't pay
Yeah.
them to do anything. Members come and help and support. And that support from outside also strengthens you mentally.
Yeah.
And physically.
It's always good to think about what you have around you as well and who
That's
you have
right.
around you. So, so that's a good example of, somebody helping, and we're going to talk a lot about solutions towards the end of the skits. But thank you so much, Chaplain Joseph. Thanks for coming up and sharing your wisdom with us and your spiritual knowledge as well. So that's a good example. I think of something me and Donna have also talked about, as well as in the encouragement group, is the fact that we have compound stresses. Imagine being in the hospital and then having something happen to maybe someone in your family or someone you care about and being unable to help them. So the stress upon the stress upon the stress has a huge effect on our mental health because you feel, like I said, helpless when you're in that situation. You want to do something, but you can't. And Joseph brought great ways of thinking about it in differently and allowing yourself to heal and recover and letting other people take the load off of you for a little bit while you try and recover and de-stress. So that is truly great and amazing, and I'm glad we brought that up. Next up, I think here's a good example of, a lot of this you deal with throughout our entire lives, but there is a difference when you're much older in years and you're trying to cope with that. So I'm going to have my friend Dolores come up on stage and have a seat and help me out with, what our next few skits are going to be about, which is, when you're, I'm going to have you sit in that chair over there and the mic's there if you want to speak at all. Perfect when I jump up there to do these skits. In older age, something I kind of touched on a little bit with my grandmother is that a lot of the time we have a very difficult time in our society of actually taking the time and care that our elderly family members and friends need, because we have such the hustle and bustle life, as Chaplain Joseph beautifully said. We don't have time to say, hey, Grandma, I love you. I wish I could spend more time with you. I wish I could see you. I got to go. I'm busy. I don't have time. So here's an example. Grandma's at home. She was expecting me to come and visit, but I can't. So let me show you a little example of what that might look like. So I'm going to give my grandmother a quick call because today I'm busy. I can't go see her. I was supposed to go see her, but I can't. So ring. Hey, Grandma, how's it going? I know I was supposed to come visit you today, but, work. I got busy with work. Huh? No, sorry, Grandma. Today I got caught up with work. I'm not going to be able to make it. I really wanted to see you, but... Oh, yeah. Okay. Hey, Grandma, can I have you grab the mic? I can't hear you too well.
Dear.
Oh, there we go, Grandma. Now I can hear you much better.
Yes, I was so looking forward to you coming.
Yeah, I was kind of excited to see you, but work got me caught up, and I'm not going to be able to make it. Maybe next week, if work slows up, I might be able to come see you. But
Next week?
yeah, maybe next week though. I'm not sure though. But you don't you have someone who comes to check in on you though, right? Like I think.
But it's not like having you. You're my grandson. I miss you. Don't you miss me? I don't have that many years left.
Yeah, I know, Grandma. I'm really sorry. I actually do miss you. You know, it's been a little while since I've seen you, and I've been thinking about you. That's why I called. But life's just so stressful. I wish I had more time, but I'm just so busy that I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it. And I'm really trying to open up my schedule so I could come see you. But you know, hopefully you're okay. I mean, I don't know what else to do.
I'm not okay. But anyway, if I'm alive next week, yeah. I've been sick. You don't even ask how I've been. Don't you even care?
Yeah, I do. I want to say I don't care, Grandma, because I very much care for you. You know how much I love you, but life just gets so crazy. So I'm really sorry that I'm not able to be there. I'm really sorry about that. You know,
Yeah.
hopefully I can make it out real soon.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, well I love you, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. I love you too.
Okay. Bye. So yeah, that's I think a very profound example of something that's very common. I was very blessed during the pandemic that because of the time I had, even if I was working, I got my grandmother a grandpad, and it's like a more easy like iPad for older people, so you can spend time with them. So when I wasn't able to physically go visit her, even though I was still the homestead, nobody's visited this much. Like my name was the only one on the list every time I went to sign in to visit her at the home. And even when I couldn't, I would do a video call with her or phone call with her just to make sure she knew she wasn't alone, and I could try and be there for her. Because even though she did make me endure a crazy amount of abuse in my life, like I wanted to break that cycle and really show love and care where there wasn't any. And I think that helped me heal too, and to show that love and that can be there even with so much negative things. So let's see, for that part of it, I think we're good, but I'm gonna have you stay up there, Dolores. We're gonna start talking about solutions about these kind of situations when we're dealing with mental health. First, I wanna talk go back a little bit in time to when you're younger. So I think some of the stuff we can do and that can help a lot is, when children are young, just being being an ear, being a shoulder, being there without judgment to help when people are going through stuff. So I'm going to have Brian come up to help me with this part, and we're going to do a couple little things to show a little bit of that. So, first and foremost, I'll have you stay actually right here on the stage, if we can stand up. Yeah, right, or a little more to the other side. And, yeah, right there's perfect. And, okay, yeah, Ayana, you got a question?
Hi, sorry about that. Are you going to do one? I didn't mean to interject. On just like seniors in general, just as seniors and just people who are alone in general, like, I don't know. I'm enjoying the skit, so I was just wondering. I'm like, do we get to see that?
So some of the skits we're going to do after we do a couple things is solutions. So we're going to talk in general about listening, and this is going to touch on that as well. So yeah, we're going to do more right now on the solutions, which is touching on those solutions to being alone and being more in touch and in contact with each other. So we're going to be touching on that here. So basically, I'm going to have Brian be that positive listening when I come in with a problem or situation or stress, and how someone, a family member, friend, anybody could be more open, be more listening, be more caring when you're dealing with stuff like that. So that's what we're going to jump into right now. So here's a scenario. Hey, Dad, how's it going?
Hey, how you doing, son?
I'm okay. I've been really stressed out. My girlfriend broke up with me, and I'm not happy at my job, and I just don't know what to do. Do you have any advice, anything you can help me with in these situations I'm dealing with?
Yeah, I'm sorry you're going through all that, son, and just take it one day at a time. Sorry about your breakup, and just stay close to your family. I'm here for you. Need something, you just talk to me anytime when you're going through stuff. Feel free to call me, okay? As far as your job, you can always be other jobs that you like. Just hang in there, just know you're not alone. And, you know, you just hang in there. Just know I'm there for you if you need it. The family's here for you.
I appreciate that. Thanks. That means a lot. That means a lot. All right. So I think that all this is improv. We didn't practice this. We just came up and started working on it. And I love what he brought to the table right there. When somebody comes in, they're feeling down. You don't beat them more when they're down. You don't tell them, oh, come on, dude, man up. You know, that's what you hear so much in our society, that alpha male mentality is man up, get over it, get through it. But no, I think we need that gentle touch sometimes. We need that it's okay, it'll be all right, I'm here for you. Let's try and find something different for you. Let's work together to find a solution here. That's how you grow. That's how you help with mental health as well, because if I'm by myself dealing with all this stress and I come to my dad and he says, shut up, you're be a man, be tough, get over it, that's not going to solve anything, and my mental health is going to suffer so much more for it. So I think that is a great example of the kind of listening we should have with each other. And I want to thank Barbara, because we were on a Zoom call and she was on the phone. And she said, you know, we don't have enough listening. We don't have enough of these solutions to the problems that we're encountering all the time. So thank you, Brian, for coming for that part of the skit. I appreciate it. And let's do one more, actually. I'm going to have you stay up here, but I'm gonna jump on the stage sitting down on my phone, and you're going to actually come up to me and ask, you remember the skit we were talking about? Okay, so I'm going to have you off stage for a second, and we're going to start. Oh, yeah, hold the mic closer to your mouth so we can hear you. I didn't want to interrupt during the skit.
Thank you, Don.
Right there, that's
Thank
perfect,
you,
like that.
Bonnie.
All right, so I'm just going to be chilling at home. I'm at home, I'm on my phone. That's it. Here we go.
Hey, son, how you doing?
Oh, I'm all right, how are you?
Hey, I was thinking maybe we could go for a little walk today. You know,
Nah,
walk today.
I got lots of stuff I like on here, so I'm good. I'm going to chill. Why don't you go for a walk and let me know how it was?
You know, son, we haven't had that much time together, so I figured maybe this would be an opportunity to do that.
You want to hang out with me and watch some videos?
No, I just wanted to have a little more one-on-one with my son.
Yeah, I'm okay. I think I'm good.
All right, son, we'll talk about it later.
All right, cool. Thanks. Later. So yeah, I think that really emphasizes our society today, and I see it so much, especially being an actor. I work with a lot of younger actors. I don't look my age, which is a good thing in Hollywood. So I work with a lot of younger actors, and so many younger actors and just young people in general, they're so attached to their devices. They don't leave them. Their eyes don't leave them. They're just always, you go out to eat, they're on their phone. You talk to them, you see them, whatever, it doesn't matter. So I think this is also detrimental to our mental health. Having maybe screen limits on it, screen time, maybe is something everyone should do. I think could help with our mental health a little bit, is maybe not so much stuck to your devices and your technology and your phones. So that's something we should definitely think about. But thank you, Brian, for helping me out with that skit. I think it was really important to show, because that's something, a modern problem we deal with. No. We're about to do our next skit with you. That's you and me again. No, you're fine. You're fine, Dolores. Enjoy the spotlight. And that way you don't have to walk as much up and down the stairs. So I thought it'd be easier just to keep you there. Now I want to go over some of the solutions to these problems. So remember earlier we did that skit about, the grandchild not seeing grandma. But let's look at the grandchild taking much more time and effort to spend time with grandma. Why don't we have enough of that? And let's try just to make time for that. So I'm going to show you a couple of scenarios here. Hey, Grandma, it was great to see you. How you doing?
Oh, honey, I'm so glad to see you. I'm so glad to see you. You just really brightened my day and touched my heart just seeing you.
I'm really happy that I'm able to. I got a busy day today, but I was actually driving by on my way to work, and I said, you know what, let me stop in Grandma, check in with her. I brought you your favorite snack, so you can enjoy that.
You're so sweet. How have you been, honey?
I've been okay. I've been super busy. Work has got me moving all the time. I'm always running around trying to get clients and the job done. But I've been pretty good, just staying busy. But, thinking about you, obviously, because, I care about you. I wish I had more time with you. But I figured, you know what? these next 2 weeks, I have a job that's really close to us, so I'm able to stop by for a few minutes. I'm going to start heading out, but I will give you a call a little later, okay, Grandma?
Oh, bless you.
All right. Have a great day. Enjoy the snacks.
Oh, thank
and
you.
I'm going to give you a call later, okay?
Thank you. You've made my day. God
All right. Have a great
bless
one, Grandma. All right. So work got me caught up. Super busy. But you know what? Let me give a call to Grandma. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Grandma. How's it going? Are you enjoying the snacks I brought you?
Oh, yes, honey. They're so good.
Awesome.
How are you, sweetheart?
I'm pretty good. I just got off work. It was a long day, but, I got the job done, so I feel really accomplished with the things I was able to get done today. And I got to see you for a little bit, so that made my day, too.
Oh, yes, yes.
Yeah, so tomorrow I was thinking, I got a busy day, but I have an hour gap. I'm going to be a little far from your house, but I was wondering if you want to do a FaceTime, and we could talk face-to-face on the phone, so that way we could see each other for a little bit.
You know what, honey? I would love that, but Grandma's not good with all that FaceTime stuff.
Okay, well, luckily, Grandma, hopefully you'll understand. So let me see if this will be easy for you. So all I have to do, it's like making a phone call on our phones. We both have iPhones. So all I have to do is call you instead of the phone, it's going to be the camera. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to answer when the little video thing pops up. And then instead of holding it to your ear, you're going to look at me straight in the face. Will that, you think you'll be able to do that?
You lost me at straight in the face.
So there's a camera on both of our phones, and when I call you on the video instead of the phone, we get to look at each other and talk to each other without holding it to our ear. How does that sound?
I feel like such a loser. I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, well, I'm going to come by, not tomorrow, but the next day for a little bit, and I'm going to show you how to do that, so that way next time we can do that together, okay?
Oh, I love you so much. Thank you.
You too, Grandma. All right, have a great night, and we'll talk tomorrow, okay?
Okay.
All right, bye. All right. I think if you want to come up, we'll do your poem in a second. But I just want a quick solution and example to that. You see, I made the effort to try and connect with my grandmother. I went to visit her. I brought her a snack she wanted. It wasn't very long, but she felt connected. She felt someone cared and was there for her. And that's going to overall help her mental health because she's going to feel seen, heard, loved, connected. And I think that's what we're missing in our society so much today with our technology and everything else. So making that effort, making even 5 minutes of a day, you don't know what it could do for someone's day and life and energy. So I think we need more of that. And it doesn't have to be just the elderly. It could be a friend maybe you're worried about. You don't see that often. Sometimes you have to be the key to the door that they don't want open and say, I'm going to come see you. Let's go out together. Let's come to my place. I'll come get you. Make that effort, and you don't know what someone's life, someone's day might change. Sometimes we may have little tiny things like saying hello, you're heard, you're cared for. I worked a job where I was a supervisor for a short time, and one of my workers, when she left, she wrote me a letter, and I didn't read it till I got home. But she said I was the only person that was ever nice to her, and she was thinking about taking her own life. And because I had taken the time to say, how are you doing? How's it going? Is everything okay? She said, you changed my life just by giving me that. You treated me like a person for one day, and like other people just ignore me, but you took the time to say, hello, how are you? And just that much, you never know what kind of impact you can make on someone's life by just saying, hello, how are you? How are you doing? Simple. So we're going to start wrapping up the skits right now. We have, of course, grab the mic so we can hear you.
I just wanted to interject one thing. The reason why I threw in the lack of technology knowledge, a lot of seniors do feel isolated from people because they don't understand how to use technology.
100%.
And it separates them from everyone. So
it does, and that's
why
a beautiful point. Thank you so much for bringing that up. I really appreciate that. And also something that I was saying, which you heard her, and she did it so beautifully, was the fact that sometimes they're not going to be able to learn that technology. It's going to be too much for them. They grew up in a different generation, a different era, and that technology is not going to be their friend. And you're going to have to take the steps to either teach them or make the sacrifice to just call them again or go see them in person. So thank you so much for showing that. And we're going to finish up with expressing ourselves, because I think for me, what saved my life through all my trauma and abuse was expressing myself. I had music, I had comedy, I had acting, I had performers I would imitate and imitations I would do. And that really gave me strength and hope to get through what I was going through. And now it's my career, it's my job. I get to live and go to set and do the things I love. And I could care less if I'm famous. I actually get to go wake up every day and do something I love. So that is what makes it, it's like therapy for me. It's healing for me to do what I love and I'm passionate about. So never discount that. Find what you love. Even if everyone, even your family tells you don't do it, find a way to do it. Do it in your spare time. Do it in your free time. You never know. For me, I'm here today because of it. So we're going to end off with a poem that Dolores is going to speak for us. So I'm going to put this mic up on the stand so she can share that poem, and we'll continue forward.
First of all, I just want to thank Donna for the opportunity to participate one more year in such a meaningful thing as mental health. And thank you, Jean-Pierre, for your wonderful direction. And thank you all for being here. Okay. So, okay, can you hear me? Okay. Okay, Jean-Pierre had said that at the end of our session here that it would be wonderful to have a poem that would kind of give us encouragement on how to make life a little better. So the name of this poem is called Don't Quit. When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're trudging seems all uphill, when the funds are low and the debts are high, and you want to smile, but you have to sigh, when care is pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but don't you quit. Life is strange when it's with its twists and turns, as every one of us sometimes learns. And many a failure comes about. And many failure comes about when he might have won had he stuck it out. Don't give up through the pace seems slow. You may succeed with another blow. Success is failure turned inside out. Okay, I had to, wait a minute, turned inside out. Okay, here I am. The silver tint of the clouds of doubt. And you never can tell just how close you are. It may be near when it seems so far. So stick it out. Fight when your heart is hit. It's when things seem worse that you must not quit.
All right. Thank you so much, Dolores, for that beautiful poem. And that brings a conclusion to our skits for today. We're going to bring up some of our speakers. We have a few people that are going to say a few words before we bring up our keynote speaker. First off, we have Care Court here today. And Glenn Rabel, a supervising psychologist, will be saying a few words and let you know about what Care Court and what they do. So come on up. Thank you. Would you prefer to hold the mic? Or you want to...
Oh, no problem. Okay. Thank you for having us. So Care Court is a new program within the Department of Mental Health. So it actually started from a piece of state legislation. So eventually there's going to be Care Court programs within every county within the state. But LA County started their Care Court program November 2023. And the point of the Care Court program is to provide mental health services for a lot of those individuals that are kind of following through the cracks. So part of the criteria is you need to be an adult. They need to have like schizophrenia or related illness. not participating in mental health treatment. Their symptoms are very severe, and they're at risk of hospitalization, homelessness, in and out of jail. So kind of the goal of the program is to keep people off the streets, keep them out of jails, keep them out of the hospitals, and try to empower them to participate more in their own mental health treatment. So the way the program works is somebody, typically it's like family members, will submit a petition to the court. The court will review the petition and see if it appears like the person meets criteria. And if it looks like that, then they will submit it to the Department of Health. And then a team gets assigned to go out there, speak with the person, try and engage with them a little bit, and see if they would be willing to participate in the program. So if they do agree, what we're able to offer is services in a field-based, so we go out to wherever they are in the home, in the streets, wherever they might be, and we have a team that has a psychiatrist, we have social workers, psychologists, medical caseworkers, substance abuse counselors, nurses. So we have like a whole team of mental health professionals to be able to go wherever the person is to provide the services. And the core part of it is that the individual has their own attorney to represent them. The Department of Health has an attorney representing the department, and the court oversees the treatment of the individual. So the person will say, well, these are the services that I feel that I need, and then we work with the court to kind of come up with a treatment plan, and then there'll be like hearings like every month or so to kind of see how the progress of treatment is going, see if something needs to be changed, and then hopefully, after a year, it could be extended to 2 years, the person is in a spot where they can participate in like a lower level of treatment, just doing like regular outpatient care. Okay? All right, thank you.
Thank you so much. Once again, Care Court, they have a table in the back, so if you want more information, I have a couple representatives back there, information, little goodies and different things back there. So thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it. We definitely need more programs like this to help people in our communities and our world so we can hopefully have a better place to live in and all, take care of each other. Next up, I believe we're going to have a couple of the members of the Department of Mental Health, PMRT, that's a Psychiatric Mobile Response Team. We have Dina and Christina, affectionately known as the Inas. So come on up, we'll give you a little information about what they do. Thank you so much for being here.
A lot shorter than the last person. Hi, it's nice to be here with you all. I'm Christina.
I'm Dina.
And we are the Inas. We are a team of the Department of Mental Health in LA County, specifically the Mobile Crisis Response Team. And what we do is respond to families, generally, folks in the community, when they call us out because they're concerned about their loved one. And that could look like a million different things. It could be kind of a life stressor that has triggered them to, not be coping so well, to something more serious that, like a mental health illness that they've been dealing with for quite some time. And they're not following up on what they need to do as far as treatment goes. They're not functioning well in their daily life. So there's a wide range of scenarios, but we go out in pairs to homes. We go out and see folks on the street. We go to schools all the time, elementary schools, middle schools, high schools, colleges, places of work, church settings, really, honestly, everywhere. There isn't anywhere we don't go. Medical emergency rooms, too. We assess folks in emergency rooms when they come in, maybe for a mental health issue, maybe, a broken leg, and then something's uncovered that lets the medical staff know that actually there's something underlying the situation. And our primary role is to assess that person's level of risk to themselves and to others, their ability to care for themselves as it relates to their mental health issue. It could be as, superficial as stress buildup, or again, it could be like a well-known diagnosis that they're struggling with, and facilitate linkage and connection with support. So like all of you have been speaking so well about, support via their family, their community, their neighbors, their friends, their like natural environmental social supports, but also to community resources, community social supports like churches, schools, social services, mental health, outpatient services. In very severe cases, when folks are really on the edge and they're not able to identify, even with our collaboration and their family's collaboration, that they can keep themselves safe or not hurt somebody else, then we have the option of getting them to a hospital. And we do that via 5150 involuntary psychiatric detention. That's like one of the most extreme interventions that we might utilize. And I'd like to, we always say this to our families and folks that we go out to see, is we're a crisis intervention team, not a hospitalization team. So that means we collaborate with the person and the family, the friends, the loved ones. Sometimes it's even landlords, neighbors calling us out to come up with a plan, to work with that person to come up with a plan to get them the supports that both they can identify and trusted others in their lives can identify. And we really join them in that process. So it's not us coming out to tell them what they need to do. It's literally sitting with them, spending the time with them, exploring with them what could help them get back on the right track.
We also have follow-up teams. I have a deep voice. I don't think I need to. We also have follow-up teams that will contact the family of the requester of the services that can see how they can navigate through the systems. As you know, there's a lot of different programs, different qualifications, so we have a team that can help the family navigate through to see what is the best ongoing long-term treatment for the individuals. We have their number. I was speaking to someone earlier. Our number is 24/7, 7 days a week. We have teams that are almost 24 hours, holidays, any day, weekends and everything. So also if you have a loved one that's outside of the Santa Monica area in different parts of LA, our program, PMRT, covers all of Los Angeles County. So if you're in Long Beach, if you're in Compton, if you're in Inglewood, we have a team that can get to your concerned loved one, family, or friend.
Yeah?
So,
Maybe I have a million questions. So regarding, like you said, the hospital thing, does it have to be from the hospital staff to, I'll try to talk loud because I don't have a microphone. Does it have to be by hospital staff in order to get like to get services out there?
No, absolutely not.
Thank you.
I'd say more often than not, we are, so ultimately a team responds to wherever they go, let's say the home, but the request comes from a community member. We do go to medical emergency rooms, but I'd say that's a smaller fraction of the population, you know, of the kind of location of clients that we service. So anyone from the community can call. Even someone driving by that sees someone on the street that's behaving erratically, that's talking to themselves, walking into traffic, you know, that is one example. So I'll give you a scenario. Let's say it's that example. Someone calls a 1-800 number, says, oh, hey, I work at Pico and Sepulveda. I'm here like all day long, and this woman's been out in front of the 7-Eleven, and she's talking to herself, and she looks kind of lost. You know, she doesn't look like the typical person that I might see hanging out in front of 7-Eleven for hours. I think someone needs to talk to her. I think she needs extra help. They would take your information just for, for following up. Also to just see when the team is ready to go to the call that the person is there. And they would get information from you about what your concerns were, and then they would coordinate a response to the site. Okay. And then we would go out there and and talk to the woman and see what her identified needs and concerns are and come up with a plan from there.
Okay, and then one other question, thank you. And is there, and so forgive me if this is not appropriate, if I don't know how to ask this question. but
There
I was
isn't
gonna-
anything that isn't appropriate.
Well, because I don't want to sound one way, but
everything.
is
so.
there like I don't want to say facility, but that if someone, like it's not a hospital, but like, I think of it like when I see on TV, like, like Malibu place that has like a treatment center. Is there a treatment center like that for people who have been diagnosed with mental health? Like, is there a such thing, a facility like that where, I don't know, like it's not.
Like somewhere where somebody can get help.
Yeah.
You don't want necessarily a hospital.
A hospital, like a residential services. Are there such things of that? And
They are.
do you guys?
That's a part of what the follow-up team would assist.
Okay.
They would see based on insurance, not insurance. Malibu, some of those places are $70,000 a second. So a lot of our clients are going, but we have gone to those places.
We go to those
before.
places, too.
We go to those places actually a lot.
Yeah.
So there are different programs that can provide that service. Also, that 1-800 number is also a good resource. You can call, go through the prompts. If you're looking for a substance abuse class or an AA class or a place that has substance abuse and mental health, and that's all the information that you want, you can call that 800 number for resources as well. You can call that, and then we have the flyers with the 800 number on there to give to you guys when the time is appropriate.
Thank you so much. I guess my only thing is I'm thinking when someone is having a mental health breakdown or even a substance abuse problem, it's kind of hard to say, well, I'm going to take myself to go to a substance abuse class, especially if, so I just wonder, when we get to that, there's more to go. I don't want to take up too much time. How do you bring the substance abuse class to them? You know what I mean? Because if I'll use myself, it's not me, but if I'm, schizophrenic and I love my methamphetamine and all that kind of good stuff, I'm not going to want to get up and go to a substance abuse class, even if I'm walking down the street half naked, going through eating out of the trash can. I'm just saying, I'm not going to want to do that. So how do we bridge that gap,
That's a great question. And I think that's the core of the work that we do. It's at the core of the work that we do is no matter what, by sitting with someone and spending time with them and talking to them, either them alone or with their loved ones or neighbors, whoever's concerned about them, our job is to figure out what it is that they do want. People always want something. There's always some internal motivation, right? So us going out and coming up with a plan to help them keep themselves safe or improve their functioning is about identifying where they are with that problem, whatever it is, or whatever the problems are, and figuring out a way in. What door to open. It's always something.
And sometimes we'll see the same individual 4, 5, 6, 7 times before we can engage with them, to trust us, for them to do what we feel is the best for them. So we don't just give up after one time. And it's frustrating on all ends. The loved ones, the clients, ours. So we'll go and see that individual as much as needed until, we can hopefully get the outcome that all parties want.
I'm glad you guys are around. I know last night I was just walking in my alley late at night, or maybe even this morning, 1 o'clock in the morning, and there was a woman who looked like I know, it's a long story. I know, it wasn't for me. I was walking my dog. I didn't want her pooping in the house. So I was walking her in the alley. Yes, I did. I know, that sounds kind of weird. It sounds like, what were you doing? Yeah. But I was walking the alley, and there was another woman who I felt was around my age, demographic, body, and everything, walking in the alley, aggressively coming towards me.
Uh-oh.
And she was coming towards me and my dog at 1 o'clock in the morning, and it was just us. And I was like, I thought, was she running from somebody? And she's coming now. She's literally coming towards me. She comes right to where my dog's even looking at her even my dog's kind of startled, like, what do we do? Where do we go? And I'm like, because I'm like, is she concerned? Is somebody chasing after her? Maybe she's someone, I'm thinking all this stuff in my head. Do we need to run? Do I need to run? And then she comes right close to me, then goes straight to the trash can. And she's dressed like how she could have been, I'm just saying, and goes straight to the trash can, tosses it, and just starts going and trying to eat out the trash can. And I didn't know what to do. I was just like, so then after she's doing, I'm kind of around by the building trying to see what else is going on. And she walks away, then she goes to another trash can. But I'm just thinking, I guess that would have been an opportunity had I had your number to call, because I just thought, I didn't know where she was going. And she literally had her purse, and anybody could have snatched her, it just.
Right, she was
snatched her
vulnerable in
up.
that situation.
Very vulnerable.
Yeah.
And we always tell our community requesters, if you feel that there is an immediate need for a response, or you feel that there's someone that's in immediate danger of harming themselves or harming the others, call 911 first and then call us. Because we, like Christina was saying, we are a crisis response team. We're not an emergency response team. But sometimes, LA traffic, it can take 20 minutes to get from Santa Monica to Santa Monica on any other day. So it does take us time to get to the location. But if you feel that there's an immediate need for a response, call 911 first and let them know that you are going to contact the Department of Mental Health, PMRC. And don't walk your dog by yourself.
I did not want the poop smell.
I understand, but be careful.
And sorry, I was just going to say one more thing. The same way that we sit with folks and partner with them and support them in coming up with a plan and collaborate, we do the same with agencies in the areas that we work. So we're very familiar with social service, mental health agencies outside of our own under the umbrella of Department of Mental Health, but community support networks as well. And we always partner with them, and we love to do that because we understand that that's how people stay connected. So, yeah.
In our particular office, we cover West LA, Santa Monica, Beverly Hills, Malibu, Venice,
Marina Del Rey, Beverly Hills,
Beverly
Broward,
Hills, West Side,
all the way
West
up,
Side area.
and all the way up to the Ventura County line along the coast.
All the way to the tip of Malibu.
Yeah.
You partner with Care Court as well, right?
Yeah, actually,
We're all under the same umbrella of Department of Mental Health.
yeah, I recently got a call for a Care Court client. Yeah, we know Aretha.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Do we have any more questions before they go?
Be at the
And we'll be
table,
at the
so you
table.
guys
Yeah, and they'll be at the table as well.
Come and talk to us.
Okay, perfect. All right, cool. Well, you guys are good. Okay, thank them so much. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it. All right, so I believe we're going to go with our keynote speaker next. So let me give her a proper introduction before we bring her up here. I'll leave everything set up for you if you want to leave the mic stand. But I introduced her a little bit earlier, but I want to make sure I give her a proper introduction before we get started here. So we have Aretha R. Jones-Adams, MS and AMFT, is our keynote speaker. So welcome, Aretha.
Good afternoon. I hope that you all are well, and I am Aretha Jones-Adams, and I bring greetings from Sound Mind One-Third Ministries. Now, the interesting thing is I am employed by the Los Angeles County Department of Mental Health. Woo-hoo-hoo! And I have to say that I know the Enas. Yeah, I know them, and they are still doing an amazing job. God bless you both. I used to work in Service Area 5. I was the housing navigator for a couple of years, I think close to 2 years, and I serviced Service Area 5. So it's nice to see that you all are still on your jobs, doing an amazing job. PMRT, so needed, and then the Care Court, which is relatively new. God bless you all. The Department of Mental Health actually changed my life because after working for the Department of Mental Health, because of my love for the consumers, I started a ministry, Sound Mind One Third Ministries. And it has been such a blessing to me. And, working for the Department of Mental Health and servicing those consumers, God just put a passion in my heart. And I saw the need to go out and serve individuals that, they don't know about PMRT. They don't know that they can call for assistance. They don't know about 988 and all those services that are out there. So this ministry was birthed because of my love for the consumers. I just finished my 27th year with the Department of Mental Health, and I thank God for that. Yeah, I thank God for that, and I thank God for being here. I thank Him for His blessings and His mercy. And as a marriage and family therapist, a lot of times being a mental health worker, people think that we have it all together, right? We don't have any issues. We have it all together. But last year, my life was changed when I got a phone call from my sister. My twin sister told me that she had cancer. And my life was changed. My life was changed forever. And I had to pray and pray and pray to God to keep my mental together. Because I didn't want to go into a depression. I didn't want to, I wanted to be good for the people that I service, my ministry. But when my twin sister, told me that she had cancer, my mom, 11 years before, had succumbed to breast cancer. A year before my sister announced that she had cancer, my brother was dealing with colon cancer. He never told us that he was dealing with cancer. And I got the call that he had passed away. That's how I found out that he had cancer. I found out that he passed away. And all of that impacts the mental. It impacts the mental like you would never believe. And people do not believe the importance of, mental health awareness. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And I told my sister, I said, you know what? I go around and I speak out against the stigma attached to mental illness, especially in the African American communities. A lot of times in the African American churches, you don't hear about mental health awareness. And I said, it's really sad that I have to go into the church and say, listen, mental health matters. It matters. Whether you want to acknowledge it or not, it matters because everything that we do impacts the mental. The mental, the mind, manifestations of our brain. And, the skits that were done, those were just really like, wow. It really hit home, those skits, because a lot of times we don't think about that, how the seniors are impacted. But, everything that we do is impacted by the mental. And I was talking to Donna, and we were talking about ADHD, and she asked if I would just touch briefly on ADHD. ADHD, once again, a lot of people think that ADHD is not a real mental disorder. But it is, right, clinicians? It's a real mental disorder. ADHD, Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, or ADD, Attention Deficit Disorder. It is a diagnosis, it's a real mental illness. It's in the DSM, the DSM-5. Have you guys heard of the DSM-5? The Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Diseases. So it's in its 5th edition now. And it's ADHD is something that's real. And I remember I was speaking about ADHD, and someone told me that children should not be diagnosed with ADHD. They shouldn't be put on medication. Someone was debating with me when I was trying to speak, and they said that children are just hyper. They're hyper because they get bored, or they're hyper because of the medications that they are on. But ADHD is something that's real. It's something that needs to be dealt with, and it needs to be treated, sometimes with medications and sometimes with maybe talk therapy or child therapy, play therapy. But it's something that really needs to be dealt with. The last thing I want to say is that when I was talking to Donna, and we were talking about the seriousness of mental health awareness, the seriousness of talking about mental health awareness and how people think it's not important. You know, a lot of times people do not want to deal with mental health issues because of the stigma, because of the embarrassment, because of the shame. But mental health is so important. Mental health impacts the way we think, the way we feel, the way we act, and it's something that needs to be talked about. Whether it's in the church, whether it's in our homes or out in the community, mental health is so important. So May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And thank God for people who see the importance of mental health awareness because it matters. And I'm going to leave you with the words of our former First Lady, Mrs. Michelle Obama. She said, there's a dilemma in the way Americans view mental illness. She referred to it as a dilemma. And she said, whether an illness affects your heart, your brain, your legs, it's still an illness. It's still an illness, and there should be no distinction. So I leave you with these words. Mental health matters, and it's time to remove the stigma. God bless you, and thank you so much for having me here. God bless you.
Thank you so much. One more time for Aretha. It's a great resource of information, obviously, working with the mental health department and all the rest of our speakers today and resources that we have. I believe we're going to do the Q&A now with the groups that have come here today. So, yeah, for the PMRT, we can definitely grab a couple chairs, and luckily we got a couple mics as well, so each group can have a microphone as well. So, sure, go for it. All right, I'll hand you that. There you go, sir. I don't know if we're going to have both of the Inas coming up or... Awesome. I'll have you guys, you can have this mic and you can pass it between each other, or if you don't want to, like before, we can also do that.
Sit way over there.
All right, I got the mic here. I'm going to bring this up to anybody who has questions to ask. So, yeah, so we've got everyone up here. So I'll go ahead and start. So if anybody has any questions, let me know. Raise your hand. I'll bring the mic over to you. Bonnie?
No, that's okay. This is it?
No, here. Oh, bring your food.
I think this is appropriate for all of you. Do you folks, your departments, have means of screening out your own biases? A little example. Somebody can see a person who's dressed in outfit that definitely doesn't match up, can look a little crazy to your eyes, and say there's something wrong with that person. And maybe that's just the person's bliss or their comfort or all they have to put together. You mentioned the lawyers advocating for the folks. Well, maybe those lawyers have their biases and say, yeah, we really should get this person into treatment. Maybe the person doesn't need treatment or want treatment, or maybe just needs a good meal for the day and carry on. Do also y'all keep in mind that if a person has been homeless due to circumstances, come on, it's going to affect you. I know it would me. I mean, I can't imagine a night out on the cold streets without getting really whiffed up. Are those biases taken into consideration? Do you workers consider that and screen yourself and monitor yourselves for that? I hope that's done, because it's easy to label a person and thinking and saying, they should this, they should that, they must have this, they must have that. Maybe that's not the way to go.
So whoever wants to field the question, everyone, or?
Very good question, and I don't like my voice. Very good comment, and those are things that we're always checking ourselves on. We always have to be sure that, because everybody has their own biases. So if someone says, "Oh, I don't have any biases," you need to be concerned. Everybody has their own biases, and it's about realizing what those are and being able to not judge people. And that's what we all work continuously on. It's something that we continuously have to work on. And when you have a small team or just a team that you work with, there's other co-workers that could say, hey, maybe you're looking at this situation a little different. Also, the county gives us trainings. We're trained to recognize and on how to deal with those biases as well. So the things that you brought up, those are things that we are actively looking at and making it a point not to complete those thoughts.
Anyone else have anything to add?
From, or me? Okay, sure.
Yes, sir.
Sure. I would say, so yeah, great comment and question. Yes, absolutely. We're always checking those biases. Again, like Dina said, we all have them, whether we'd like to admit it or not. But the most important thing is that someone has an awareness for that they're inherent within everyone. Knowing, being able to identify what they are and respond, observe them, and respond to them appropriately in the moment. So I'll just speak for PMRT. As part of the Department of Mental Health, PMRT is made of mental health clinicians, either psychologists, clinical social workers, marriage and family therapists, psychiatric technicians, RNs, medical caseworkers as well, community health workers. So these are people working coming from different clinical perspectives, different disciplines, but as part of their, I'll just speak for the clinicians, their graduate training involves very much inquiring within themselves about what those biases are and how it would affect them working with anybody, whether it's treatment or not, in their daily life. So that is something I can just say as a clinician that I'm doing constantly, for better and worse. Sometimes it can be a little exhausting, but yeah. So it's something that we do constantly, and that it's a charge to do constantly. Otherwise, we're not presenting ourselves fairly to the people who we're there to serve, and even to our own families and loved ones, right? Honestly. So that's at least uniquely my perspective. We get that sort of ongoing training in graduate school, and then we happen all here to work for the Department of Mental Health. I can say that as an agency, we all receive implicit bias training every year. We have to participate in that. every year it gets updated as, we learn more about ourselves culturally and how to identify all of that. So that sort of training happens on a variety of levels for the folks on our teams in the Department of Mental Health. Yeah.
And the comment I just wanted to make is that, I think it's especially important here within Los Angeles County because it is so diverse that you are encountering a lot of different people from, different countries, different parts of, the U.S., different ethnicities, different races. So you have to be as aware as possible about your own biases because you're almost always encountering somebody who's going to be different from you. So you have to really kind of go in there with an open mind and just kind of be there. You're there to support the person. You're trying to listen to them, trying to hear what they have to say and figure out, what it is that they want and that they need and not try to, impose your own, interests or will on them.
Anything else to add?
Yeah, just briefly. A couple of years ago, I started studying at the doctoral level. And one of the first classes that we took was a class on, because when you're writing a dissertation, sometimes you can, you feel a certain way about a subject, right? You guys, yeah, and you also. When you're working on a dissertation, you have something in mind, and you feel a certain way about the subject. And it's kind of hard to stay focused and not lean towards, the right. You stay focused, but one thing about studying at this level that they do tell you, when you're dealing with situations in life, you have to be, you don't show bias, you don't have a bias. You have to, but it's kind of hard. My dissertation is Alzheimer's dementia, and I'm dealing with caregivers who are the silent, they're the silent, the silent sufferers. Silent sufferers. And my feelings are like, you know what? They need more resources. They need this, they need that, they're overlooked, they're the invisible patient. But being in school, my mindset has changed towards bias issues, and it has really helped me a lot in this, with the Department of Mental Health. So I just wanted to add that education also helps. And I think she mentioned, we have trainings, and then I think, mentioned graduate studies. Yeah, we deal with that. Yeah, so we're pretty, how can I say it? Not well-rounded, but we try not to have biased opinions. We try to be unbiased about things. Yeah. Thank you so much. That was a great question.
Thank you. All right. We have one question here, then we'll move over to Dolores.
Yeah, and I just wanted to just piggyback, and I know you guys have said this, that you have training. It sounds like there might be annual training off of, but I wanted to know, how do you guys have who do you guys go to? Like, I want to know, how do you guys check in with yourselves working with the Department of Mental Health? I'm just curious. So, because I would think you're coming across so many people. You are also only human. And I feel like there is a schooling there, but the reality is that once you graduate, I know even for myself, things kind of go on, in life. So how do you guys check in? I'm curious to know, I'm really curious, how do you guys take care of yourselves? And does the Department of Mental Health also provide services for you guys as clinicians in this? I am curious to know.
I have clinical supervision once a week with my clinical supervisor, and then we have a clinical team meeting every other week, and then we meet with the staff once a week. So we do have a lot of clinical meetings with our clinical team, with the clinical team.
And I advocate for therapy. Obviously, we're Department of Mental Health, and I have a therapist. I check in with my therapist. I have a good team. Sorry, Christina, I talked to her. Like, we're currently dealing with a work situation, and we're checking on each other every other day, if not every day, together. to navigate through the situation. So it's about having a good community support, a good family support, therapy. I advocate for therapy, like you mentioned, in the churches, especially in minority churches. It's not spoken upon on. They say pray about it. Please do that. Please seek professional help for people who are trained to help you navigate through life. Life is life, and you need some assistance.
I would also suggest, right, you're asking about how we do. Another part of that, another, aspect of that is knowing what feeds your spirit on the daily, whether that's creative endeavors, fueling your body, exercise, being in nature, getting sunlight, swimming, whatever it is. That's really important. That's as important as good nutrition, drinking water, good sleep. Sleep is incredibly restorative, right? In order to show up and be completely available and present with someone, you need to, your tank has to be full. So whatever helps you do that. For me, it's being outside, exercising, eating good food, sleeping.
Okay. The comment I just wanted to make is that I think it's very important for us doing this line of work to, one, be aware when those things start to affect us. Because we are put in some very difficult situations, dealing with some very difficult people, and it's always go, 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 that you don't have much time to really kind of stop and think and feel. So I think it's very important for, those of us, who are out there, trying to help people to be aware of when we need help and, reaching out, however it is, whatever works best for you, to be able to get that support so that you can be as present and, as available for the clients you're working with as possible.
Great, thank you so much. If you have a question, just raise your hand. Dolores has our next question.
First of all, thank you all for everything you've done for the mental health. I hesitate to ask this because I'm so used to the stigma, but I have to admit I've been plagued with depression most of my life and anxiety. One of the things that I would need to ask you is one of the things that troubles me the most. I know that God doesn't give us any more than we can bear, but and you never know how strong you are until you have to be. I know that. But my biggest fear with the mental frailties that I know I have is that what kind of help can one get if, say, for instance, a situation does occur and you feel that you cannot handle it, but by the same token, you don't want to be put under a 5150 or whatever that thing is. So my question to you is, where does someone, if something really catastrophic happens in their life, where do they come? Where do they go to without being put under that 5150 thing? Yeah, that was my question.
I mean, there are, mental health clinics, throughout the county. Hopefully, if you're already aware that you have the illness, that you're already linked to the services. And if for some reason you're not, you can make the call and, try to get an appointment, try to get in as soon as possible. We also do have the 988 helpline that they rolled out a couple of years ago. To just
We
be
have
able to
those
talk,
cards back there.
Yeah, just to be able to talk with somebody and, kind of go through whatever you're going through. And sometimes that's just kind of enough to get you through to when the appointment is, so that you're, able to, get to whenever you're, if you choose to do therapy, whenever your therapist session is. Sometimes you just kind of, some time to kind of talk to somebody and process it a little bit, but yeah.
Good.
I would just add that even, say, if you or someone in a similar situation called for us themselves or a family member called for them, for us to come out to them. You know, like I said, we're a crisis intervention team, so we come and sit with people and join them in what they're experiencing.
All we, like Christina had said earlier, hospitalization is the highest level of our intervention. There are so many different steps that we do before then. So if you are feeling like that, you can still call the 800 number and consult, and a team will come out to assist you to navigate what the best plan is for you individually. It will be catered just to you.
And sometimes just the process of engaging and participating in that's one level of the intervention, and sometimes that's the most important part. Sometimes that's the terminal intervention for when we go see someone, is just the coming out and sitting with, giving them space to process. People, you know, people are incredibly creative and resourceful. They're able to summon what they need, but sometimes they just need someone sitting with them to hold that space for them. So we can always do that, and we do that all the time. So I hope you don't think that if we're coming out, it means that someone's going to the hospital. That's not what we do.
All right, thank you. Oh, we got another question here.
Well, you kind of, I don't know if you can hear me. Okay. You kind of touched on it. It seems like we have sort of a us and them mentality about mental illness. You know, that's not me, and that's why people don't seek help when they don't, you know, they're struggling to deal with something. And then you know people that are in a mid-range where, you know, they have maybe a diagnosis, and then there are people that are acting out where it's so out of control. But really my question is, looking back, how would you raise children to be more tolerant of who they are individually and other people are individually? So that maybe we could avoid all this conditioning. That's my question. We got the questions here.
Question that I would ask, because, you know, I have bonus children, and I think about that all the time. And they're all over 18 now, but I'm still like, yes, that's a deep question. Like, you know, you try your best to, you know, to listen to them. You try your best not to, you know, not judge them. They're human beings too. And just exposing them to the things that you are aware of and sharing what's appropriate of what you've been through. Resources that are in the community. I know with us working in mental health, we are a little bit more familiar with the different type of resources, or how we, you know, if our children are shy, we know that there's programs that we can get them into interacting with youth their age, or if our kids don't know how to swim, we know where we can try to get them free swimming lessons. So we do realize that working in this field, we are a little more privileged to a little bit more information, but resources that are out there, prayer, talking to your family.
Yeah, I would just say, I mean, ideally, you know, whoever's, you know, raising the child is able to have such a relationship with them that the child feels comfortable going and letting them know what's going on. And if not, then hopefully the child has someone else in their life that they feel comfortable going to. So, you know, maybe something parents can do is, you know, to encourage children to get involved in other activities, you know, outside the home, outside of school, so that they do have more support. So if they are going through things, you know, they might not feel comfortable, you know, talking about it within the family, but, you know, maybe they connected with somebody, you know, in some other activity they're doing outside of school. So just giving the child more opportunities to have people involved in their life to provide the support.
And just to piggyback off of the two of them, I think it's very important to listen to what they're saying and to support, because I know my dear friend, her daughter and the granddaughter is having struggles in school. And she's absolutely gorgeous, and she's bullied. She's bullied, and she keeps telling her mom, like, what's going on with her. Maybe this might be a little different than what you're talking about, but what I'm trying to drive home is that the point is you need to, listen when someone is hurting. Listen to what they're saying and don't minimize what they're saying. Don't minimize their complaints and their concerns, and try to just be supportive. Like, I'm not sure what issues you were speaking of. Like, I think your question is, how do you, was it like, how do you deal with the people? How do you deal with the children? I think that was the question. How do you help them? How do you help them?
Well, okay. I'm going to give it a bigger context.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're dealing with the child that you were
Sure.
the rest of your life.
Right. That's true.
And so you get to parent yourself.
Yes.
So, because your parents may be wonderful, but they may not have the
Yeah.
tools
That's true.
to even recognize what it is you need.
So
And it starts really, really early, I can tell you that personally.
Yeah.
So, I mean, in my own experience, just actually really feeling comfortable being who I am, even though I don't have necessarily anybody around me recognizing that. Even though it's more like I get to, because I see it. And that's also now what because I'm the person who's really, I was the really shy kid who was afraid of being stepped on, because I was very little. Even now, I look at other people in that way, like they get to. If they could see what their strengths are, they get to. So it's like trying to encourage that and try to see that and reflect it back to them. So it's quite a process. It never ends.
It's a life ongoing process. I would say I would jump in as a parent of a high schooler. The parenting, the parenting, I guess specifically the us versus them part. I think it all starts with like constant awareness for maybe the child you were, and the adult and the parent that you hope to be with the particular child that you have. And just being constantly aware of that and attuned with your child. And every child is different, right? So with respect to the us versus them, just helping them to understand that they're honestly that like we're all like these like living creatures on this rock, right? And we all have needs, and they all look a little bit different. And avoid labeling, avoid name calling, checking them when they do that, if they do that, if their friends do it, so that and constantly, it's like constant work, right? So that they develop into the person that doesn't have that perspective of us versus them. Like they're part of a larger group. They're just one of a larger whole, right?
I just wanted I wanted to ask, maybe mine a big question, but I'm listening to your question and also the answers, and thank you so much, and thank you for the question, and thank you for the answers. I think I'm curious to know, and I think, because what comes up for me in that question, I was thinking about the conditioning, kind of like how we're young, we got these stories, and for mine, which might be, I'm not going to, there was a story that I told in my head that was told to me when I was in the 7th grade, and I didn't realize till I was in my 30s that, oh my goodness, I still believe what that boy said to me, So I was living my life and my perception of myself from a comment that was made when I was 11 years old. So I guess my question is, though, so I was thinking about that conditioning, how do you uncondition your mind from that? But I think the thing and then that kind of thing ran me in my life. It really did. And even in my schooling, and even how I related to my education, it really did. And I didn't realize the impact. So it makes me I wonder now, just again, I'm talking about, how do we, and I'm one of those people, it's Mental Health Awareness Month, and it's good that we're bringing the awareness of mental health, but how do we bridge this gap? I feel like, and you were talking about as a parent, and I'm going to get to my point, as a parent, it's like as a parent, like what the parents kind of like your responsibility, kind of empathize and see yourself in that role. But how do we bridge that gap in today in like this, because I feel like this is a village thing in the community, meaning it's Mental Health Awareness Month in the schools, the educators, in the as you said earlier, the hospitals. It's a dilemma. There's a physical, I have a broken arm, I got a headache, I got a migraine, but mental health is a for real thing. That's also, it's a crisis situation. I think it's just as serious as having, a broken tooth or something. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? So how do we I just feel like there's a disconnection there. I don't know. I feel like, how do we continue to bridge that gap? And maybe this is a big question that I'm just trying to understand. And also, how do you get to that mental health support in the schools with educators, also with medical professionals, someone who might be a heart surgeon? How is he understanding the seriousness of mental health? Someone who works with, diabetic patients, a gynecologist, I'm going in there, and I need my, so like, how do we make that awareness? Like, this is just, I wasn't about me, but I was just trying to think, like, I feel like it's just as important. I don't, it may be explicit or whatever, but I'm just saying, I feel like that's just as important. How do we bridge that gap to bring down the stigmas around that? That's a big question. I deal with my everything thoughts, so hopefully you guys could answer that.
Let me say something because I work in the hospital and I'm chaplain. I work with other persons like social worker, case manager, doctor, nurse, and we have huddles. We have huddles together. And every month we have a different topic in the huddle that we discuss and share. So that's one way we can do it. The other way is that even though I'm just a chaplain, to put it that way, I know, but even as a chaplain, every month we get what they call it, key learning topics. We have key learning topics every month. And it takes me about an hour to do it. It's like a class that you have to do from your computer. So when I got to work last week, I had 3 sessions to do. One with mental health. The other one was with relationships on the job. The other one was with abuse issues, emergency issues, and every month there's a different topic that you have to do. They have videos that you look at. They have questions I have to answer at the end of the course to make sure that I understood it or that I read it. So every month there's a different thing. So we are constantly gaining, knowledge about different topics, all the topics we discuss here today and everything else. It's very
Does a heart surgeon, if he's doing that
all yeah, everybody.
A mental health practitioner's work is just as important as a heart surgeon, or like, you know what I mean? I feel like it's the same thing as an educate. I don't know.
Yeah, all the doctors have the same thing to do. Yeah, yeah. You have to aware of the advances and all the issues.
And things like this, like we've been here several hours, we've been together several hours. We're going to take the information that we shared, we learned, and we did today, and share that with other people. And I know working with DMH, we hear mental health, but I can honestly say, at least I can feel within the last maybe 7 to 10 years, everyone's been talking about the stigma of mental health. And I've realized that going to different doctor's appointments, the questions on there are not as deep as they should be, but they do touch mental health, where in the past they didn't. And there's mental health professionals in every hospital, in every school, whether it be a school social worker or a psychologist. So I think spreading the word, I know DMA's statement, the stigma of mental health, trying to break the stigma. I'm seeing more billboards, I'm seeing more commercials on TV, I'm hearing more stuff on the radio. Everybody has some type of podcast. Be careful. But there's just a lot of different, it just seems like there's a lot of more conversation about it, and it kind of starts with that.
That's a really good question. I know, like with the police department, I'm just going to use this as an example. The police now have to go through a training, and I believe it's 40 hours, like mental health awareness or something like that. But they have to do that. Now, in the hospitals, I don't know. I'm looking to you all, like she said, the cardiologist and the oncologist. I wonder if they really have mental health training. Maybe some level, yeah. I mean, it's not like a year program, but I think that they do have some type of training on mental health awareness. Yeah, I believe they do.
All right, we got one more question Donna wanted to ask, actually, for CareCourt. For anybody, I guess, that recommended, do they have to voluntarily, or can you get involved if somebody calls, like, for assistance?
So the petition can be submitted to the court by pretty much everybody. They have like a long list of people who are approved to do it, but it's pretty much anybody who is either professionally or personally involved in that person's care or familiar with that person. So they could do the petition to the court. The CareCourt is a voluntary program. It sounded kind of confusing for a lot of people because they hear the court part and they assume that somebody's going to be made to do something. But the court part with CareCourt is more just to kind of supervise and make sure kind of DMH is doing something. That DMH is making sure that, you know, this client is getting the services that they want.
Okay, great. We got one more question. We're going to end it on this question.
Okay, I just have a quick question. Something was just triggered when and I'll be real quick with this. My question is this. Do the medical profession, like cardiologists, I had a very unpleasant incident with a doctor recently. He was very dismissive. He was very condescending. And my question is this. I don't believe the medical profession, in my opinion, have had the proper training on how to relate to patients, not only with our physical health, but also be more considerate and kind to also take care of our mental health. Does that happen?
I guess I'm playing devil's advocate, and I'm sorry, thanks. I'm playing devil's advocate. I do believe that, the medical professional should have a bedside manner. But on the flip side, they have so many cases, and so many patients, I should say, not cases, I'm sorry. They have so many patients, and I don't think it's personal. I think that I think a lot of them may just be Burnout, overworked. I think they're just overworked and overwhelmed, but they should have. They should be pleasant. People are there for a lot of times serious issues, especially when you're seeing a cardiologist. Yeah, God bless you. But on the flip side, I think that there are things that's beyond their control. I think that their patient load is so heavy that it may impact their dealings. They're trying to get to all these patients, and it's something beyond their control. I don't know if you guys want to add.
Just for you personally, and I'm sorry that you went through that and going through that. I'm always a person that you need to advocate for yourself, especially when it comes to medical care, especially when it comes to women in medical care, especially when it comes to women of color in medical care. You need to advocate for yourself, and if you need assistance with talking to the right people, that information should be expressed to the people who need to hear that. You should not have been through that, and I do apologize for that.
One more thing I would like to add. I've seen a lot of that in the hospitals. And no matter how much training there is, no matter how much you train everybody, there's still going to be people who are going to act in the opposite way. So you can't get away from that. Many times I have to work I have to explain sometimes the attitude of black people to the doctors. Most of the doctors are white, and there are few black patients and families who come in. We have a patient here, and the patient doesn't want to speak to the staff. The patient is quiet. The patient doesn't want to say what is wrong. The patient is upset. I go and I sit down, and I ask one question, and I listen to the patient. And I listen, and I listen, and I listen. That is all they need sometimes. They said I'm a good listener. I could listen. And the thing of it is that I have to explain to the doctors now that this person doesn't want to say anything or is resistant. Why? Because 10 years ago, 12 years ago, they had a difficult situation with a doctor, and the doctor treated them with discourtesy and so on, and they were ill-treated as black people. And that is why when they come back into hospital years later, they still have this resistance and this block to explaining, to have a good relationship with some of the staff. And so I have to explain to them the reason why the patient not telling you anything or is a little abrupt and all of that. Don't get down on the patient and you be abrupt too. I'm explaining that they are like that because of a previous experience. So they don't want to, there's no trust. They don't have trust for the present doctors. So when I explain that and I share that, then their attitude becomes different. So I have to be a psychologist as well as a chaplain.
All right, thank you very much for that. I think we're going to wrap it up for now. If you guys want to leave the mics on the chairs, thank you, Care Court, PMRT, and Aretha. I want to give a shout out really quick to another person that's here in the back before we start closing out, and that is Kellyanne Chippendale, who's an author, and with Life Vantage. She has some samples back there of de-stressing natural things to help with stress. So if you want to check the tables out, and information for everything else is also in the back. And I will now pass it to Ayanna so we can close her out.
You guys been hearing me talk way too much already. I had so many questions because there were so many great questions. Oh my goodness, thank you for everyone for being here. Seriously, this is just amazing. We so needed this. We need to do it again. So we need to not just only do this for Mental Health Awareness Month, because every week and day is a mental health. We need the awareness. I feel like this is, and I think that's I guess I feel like maybe I'm like, I can't wait to, we need to continue bridging that gap, as we were talking about those stories, your experience, you shared as well, Chaplain, about at the doctor's office, kind of that advocacy. I just wish there was much. I appreciate the work that you guys do. I really do, and it's so needed. It's just so, I feel like, undervalued, and yet it is so much of a huge thing that we are all affected by. So I feel like it's beyond a month, and I feel like, I find that work just as important as a cardiologist and an EMT. It's the same thing. I mean, crisis. It really is. So I'm going to get ready to close out so I can stop talking. But before I do, I just want to quickly, before I close out, I want to just acknowledge everyone here just as just participating, everyone here as a vendor, of course, all the clinicians, medical fields. We got, our sound guy up there, Nate. I always say Nate's on the ones and twos. Woo! Nate's great, Definitely want to give a big shout out to Jean-Pierre and those wonderful skits. I'm like, we need more time with those skits because I had questions at those skits too. I was like, okay, you had me thinking about just, oh my gosh, my grandmother too. God, thank God I was able to call, she's gone on, but I was able to call her. I was thinking about her, and I was just thinking about even my senior friends, how important it is to call or to hear, or just to pick up some grocery bags, or just to, or even get an email or something that says, I'm thinking about you, and I want to let you know I'm thinking about you too. So, oh, okay. All right. Okay. We shouted now. Okay. Thank you. Josh, thank you. Yeah, Josh is here. And we've got Alina here too. So, I also wanted to just also give I want to I know this is not a part of the plan as well. I wanted to actually acknowledge Miss Aretha one more time because, see, I'm going to acknowledge her again because here's the thing. She has been also an important part of this, bringing that clinical perspective in the encouragement group as well. And so, and I know you're traveling you're not nearby, you're not even in the area, you were traveling. So I wanted to just thank you for the education that you bring as well to hear. It really is important for us as well in this community because, so I just really wanted to give a special shout out to you and thank you so much. And again, this is an interfaith church, so just don't get too, it's a church. Don't trip off the name church. Just want to also ignore that. I'm just saying, it's a church, but it is an interfaith church, and this is really a place that all are welcome. So it's not like, it's just church, No, it's everyone is welcome, and we however you hold your belief, though, just I don't want you to get stuck on it. This is a welcoming place, as any church is really a welcoming place. So I just want to keep that in mind. Okay, all right. So I'm going to read this our closing reflection here for Mental Health Awareness Month, presented by the Encouragement Group. Okay, so as we let me also center myself too. Let me get present. Okay. And give a special shout out to our memorial to our men that have served in this country too. Thank you so much. We have to definitely acknowledge them, our men and women who have served and who are continuing to serve in our military in various parts of our entire government. I mean, here in the United States and beyond. So as we come to the close of our Mental Health Awareness Month gathering, I want you to take a moment to pause, reflect, and express deep gratitude. Today and every day this month has been a powerful reminder of the strength that the lives within each of us and the beauty of coming together to heal, to support, and to grow. As you know, we all have shared some stories, we've heard stories, we've maybe found some hope, and that's actually what community is all about. To everyone who has showed up today, whether you spoke, you listened, you volunteered, you simply just held a space for someone, thank you. Your presence, it does matter. Your voice, it does matter. And your healing, it does matter. To our speakers, our presenters, our skip performers, our MC, and of course, again, our tech support, thank you for using your gifts to bring awareness and inspiration to this day. And to the families of survivors and advocates, thank you for your courage and your honesty. And to this church and this community who have stood beside us, and thank you for helping us build something meaningful and lasting. Not just, we hope that you take in today and you take it, beyond here. Mental health is not something that we talk about again for, every month and we just forget about it, but it truly is a daily journey. And we've started and we continued here today, and as it doesn't end, it carries us on in our conversations, in our connections, and in our commitments. Let's continue to check on each other. Let's continue to create a safe space. Let's continue to speak up for justice, for healing, for ourselves, and for hope. And as we leave here today, may we carry with us not just the weight of what we've experienced, but the light of what we have learned, and the strength to keep going on. Thank you again for being a part of this day, this movement, and this mission. With love and appreciation and deep respect, we close out this event, but never the work. And that work includes ourselves. So take care of your mind. Take care of your mind. Take care of your heart. And let's take care of each other. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you all. Thank you so much. Let's just center ourselves real quick.